Hi everyone, welcome to the first video of the JH3 and 4P theory lesson. So there will be a total of 3 to 4 videos that will actually bring us through the JH3 and 4P theory curriculum. Right, so the first one we're talking about today would be would be on principles of training. There are certain guiding principles that you take when even you observe how your coaches, when you're doing a sports CCA, how your coach or CCA teachers, they prescribe certain trainings to you. So what are the principles that they follow? Alright, so today you actually learn about some of these principles, and then by the end of the day you also be able to have some training programs by yourself. Alright, so hopefully by the end of the day you are able to understand the main principles of training. There are actually a total of a few. One is will be some of the things that we're going through will be one is SPORS, right? Okay, so we'll be looking at this as well as FITT, right? And also it gives specific sporting examples for each principle of training. Okay, the principle of training are the rules to follow when undertaking a physical activity, right? This is important because at the end of the day there will be a 10% contributed to your PE grade, and this 10% will consists of you and your group mates coming together to do up a training program, and you present it in the form of a poster, and this poster, if done well, you can be actually put up during the JH3 and 4 Games Festival. Right, so principles of training are as follows. Right, there are a total of 4. Specificity, right, overload, progression, okay, and reversibility. So I'm going to go through a total of 4 during this lesson, and otherwise for a short it can also be seen as SOPR, or you can write it as SPOR. Right, the first one stands for specificity. Alright, for example, when you the training, this mainly the principle of this is that the training discipline must be matched to the activity that you're doing or competing in. So for example, if you are a runner, then the main core of a sport should be learning how to run, the technical aspect of how to run. If you're a basketballer, you should be running a lot of your course will be made about you dealing with things like dribbling or shooting, all the technical skills that deals with your sport. So if you're a swimmer, you should be learning the technical aspect of swimming, how to swim better, learning a stroke to swim faster. Or if you are a tracker, if you're learning your running techniques, all this. Right, so basically this will mean that the training you do in general, right, it will be slightly different compared to someone who's maybe in another sport, maybe someone who's in sailing. Right, so the type of training program, the specificity or the activities that you go through during your training definitely has to be different. Right, because maybe for a thrower he has to work on his arms, core, but maybe for, so that itself, yes, it's still strength compared to a swimmer. Maybe a swimmer also has to work on strength, but a swimmer has to spend most of his time in the water, right? So working on feeling the water, working on getting his strokes right, like getting technical training, working on drills that mostly are done in water compared to another athlete who's done on land. Okay, specificity examples. Number one, okay, like goalkeeper, he will need to focus on reaction in training, right, in comparison to a midfielder who would focus on agility, stamina, and speed. So just observe a soccer training, for example, right? A goalkeeper training and as well as a midfielder training may be slightly different. So a midfielder may be the one running around, dribbling around cones, all this, right? Whereas for a goalkeeper, he may be there, he will be at the goal post, and then people will be kicking the ball to him, and may need to dive left and right. So even though both are actually working on agility, all this, right, but instead the type of training they do in general are quite different. So this is a specificity. So basically what does it mean? When you come up with a training program, you have to come up with specific drills or specific targets in mind that help to target the nature or the demands of the athlete in that sport. Okay, another example, runner, right? Even both runner and cyclist both have to train their leg strength. Right? You can see the way the training method will actually be very different. The cyclist will have to cycle more often, the runner will have to run, right? So here we're not really talking about cross training. I mean, sometimes during off season, some people talk, maybe the idea of cross training that we are going to do something different. Like, so for example, a runner, a cyclist may end up going swimming, a runner may end up going cycling, but that's cross training altogether. We're not talking about that today. Okay, so So in order to improve through training demands, the second principle that we'll talk was overloading, right? So for example, if I want you today to be able to run a 9-minute 2.4, right, and I can't, and if I'm every lesson I'm just asking you to run 15 minutes for 2.4 and run 15 minutes, right, will that give you any challenge, right? Will that help you to improve? Maybe not, right? Also, greater demands have to be placed onto the body, but progressively, like, over time, right? Which is the next principle. The principle of overloading, however, is where, it's just like it applies to everything. It's just like maybe when you are good at a certain math problem, and then what I do is we always challenge you by giving you a more difficult one, right? So we challenge the body, we challenge the mind to be able to take up greater demand, and this is how the mind improves, like improving. Just like when you go to the, so far you, maybe the boys, you go to the gym and you do weights, what happens, right? You do, and you find it's lighter. What do? You end up, you add more weights, right? You add more weights and more weights and more weights. So over time, right, you overload this is the overloading principle, means you overload your body to improve and get stronger, right? So muscular strength, for example, is one of the examples where we overload. So like I was talking about carrying weights, right? So as you improve, you get stronger, you carry more and more weights, right? The point by which exercise is demanding enough to have an effect on the body, that's what we call threshold training. Right? So sometimes an example of threshold training is like maybe a weightlifter who will aim to train at 60 to 80% of their maximum to gain extra strength. So of course we cannot be training like 100% sets all day. I cannot be asking you to do your 1 rep max all day. I cannot be asking you to clock your personal best all day for a 100-meter run, right? But threshold training means we go close to that 100%, we train at 60 to 80%, right? This itself is a bit of overloading, and it helps the body to improve, right? The principle will be actually on progression. So like we said just now, for example, if end of the day I want you to be able to maybe shoulder press 100 kg, alright, I cannot ask you to do it right from the start. So maybe today you can only do like 20 kg, or today you may be able to do 3 pull-ups. So I'm going to try to work on to 3, and then hopefully by the next week I'm going to try to do 4, and next week I'm going to do 5. Slowly, there must be a slow and steady progression to minimize the chance of injury. So if progression is not taken into account, if the jump is too big, then you see people will get injured, because mainly because the muscles are not conditioned, right? So training has to demonstrate a steady increase, right? In order, if you want to become better to training, alright, we have to adapt slowly. You can give the body time to adapt. That's why usually sometimes they will say that certain guidelines that we do not increase more than 10% of what we've done. If you're, for example, running, we try not to increase the mileage every week by more than 10%, right? Otherwise, the chance of risk of injury. So the need to increase the amount and difficulty of the training exercise, okay, is also reflected by the ease. So for example, at the maybe last month you were struggling to bicep curl 10 kg. You notice that this month you're already doing it easily. Then that's a time where you need to progress on. You need to start thinking maybe 12.5 kg. You need to think about 15 kg. Right. So once your body can adapt, it's time to progress on to the next stage, the next evolution. Okay, so progression example, right? So running, for example, if you want to improve your cardiovascular fitness, you can, week 1 I'm running about 20 minutes. Alright, find it's easy. Then week 2, I start to run more. More and more. Alright. So the principle of progression is like, one way here is to increase the length of my continuous training session each week. Okay.